Hi, I'm Knack. I don't know how much of the beginning that you heard. Um, I sh- I should not be doing this in the middle of the night, high as shit. But I wanted to try something new. I'm gonna be poorly explaining my OCs, I guess, because I ain't got nothing else to do. It's the middle of the night, and I want to talk about them. If I'm successful, I feel like I need to have one headphone off, and that's gonna trip me up, so forgive me. Um, if I'm successful, I guess in the background, I'll be soberly drawing, soberly drawing, my whatever OC I'm talking about today. And I kind of want to start off with my current obsession. I don't think any of these are going to be in order, by the way. If I ever do this again, if I come back to it on a day I really want to do, whatever. I don't need to explain myself to you. Why am I explaining stuff to you? I don't need. I don't need to tell you shit. Oh, God, I can hear my wife making fun of me as she's watching this in my head, because I know I know you're watching, Maxine. I know you're watching. I wanted to explain what I was doing. You could probably hear you could probably hear my chair. I was trying to explain what I was doing. I want to talk about my OCs. And today I'm gonna start off with Emily. I'm gonna start off with Emily. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm kind of making the format as we go, so bear with me, okay? I don't even know how long this is gonna be. Oh god, I don't even know how long this is gonna be. Anyway. This is the most you'll hear me that. Let me stop. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. um, I'm talking about Emily Garnet today. Woohoo! I'm gonna talk about her beginnings first, and I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I'll talk about how I came up with the character and how we got here and how I want to implement her into a brand new story, which I will be talking about, or at least posting about more frequently a little bit. Um, yeah, I don't have a title. I don't have a working title for this story. I've been calling this trio the Rotten Trio. And I'm going to start off with Emily. Emily Garnet is a OC that I've had for a while now. She was in some most 99% of the original versions of God is Corrupt, which we will get to God is Corrupt. Okay, that I think that's gonna be like a special one, just because I'm actively writing it. Um, but Emily has been around since even before Goddess Corrupt became Goddess Corrupt. That's number one. She was the original mother to Celine, which none of that will make sense to new people or to people who haven't heard Maxine talk about Goddess Corrupt. Which, by the way, go follow, subscribe, follow, support her Ko-Fi. I don't know how this YouTube stuff works. Don't fucking at me. I'm not a YouTuber. Excuse me, I took a swig of Coke. Coca Cola. Um, I don't know how much of this is staying in, but I'm entertained myself, so I guess this is just for me. Alright, anyway. Um, Emily. She's changed a lot over the years. Um, I've had her. No artist is unique in the sense of, I was definitely one of those people that shipped their OC with my friends' OCs and stuff. Sorry, this is jumping at the red a lot, and this is probably a mistake, but I'm going to lower this. Oh, excuse me. Fuck. So yeah, Emily's been around for a while. Emily has been around for a while. And I kind of recently I'm starting my year off missing Emily, which is something to say. All my old mutuals will know that's problematic for me, but I can't help myself because I love villainous women. I love villainous women. And we're gonna talk about her. And we're gonna talk about her villainy and what um and how we got here. Emily has always been an antagonist role. I wanted her to be the big bad. I've had her as kind of a mini boss. I've had her as like a side character. Um and all that jazz. Um she in my mind has always been this violent, sassy, fucking uh dominating queen-esque vibe to her. I just knew that Emily Garnet was an OC of mine that was made. She was just born to be a villain. She was born to be the my executor. You know what I mean? Because all I do is torture these motherfuckers. Um, yeah. Emily has always been the antagonist. And whether it was like the trope of the wicked stepmother or the abusive biological mother, the adoptive mother, yeah, she's also always been kind of a mother figure as well, like a really bad example of a mother figure. And I don't know what it is. I've had her since 20 2013. 2013, because I made her the same year I made Celine, Lily, and the Grand One. They all kind of share a similar creation day, but and that's something planned for later. Um, I think I'm gonna do this again in March for sure. So I can talk about Celine specifically. But I've had these characters for a while. And what I've done with her recently, at least most recently, is that she kind of has her own backstory now. It's kind of like if Cinderella's stepmother got her own story. Yeah, I can you tell I also got this idea from Dimension 20 because I'm not original. At least um this is actually before I got into Dimension 20, and Never After yeah, Never After was kind of a recent inspiration because I love fairy tales turned horror. I love the Grimm brothers. Grimm brothers? I like the Grimm stories of like fairy tales and stuff. Oh my god. Sorry. My soda bottle like popped. All right, I'm just going to deal with the thirstiness and not let that happen anymore. Because it going into the red is scaring me. Like a goddamn dog. Hi. Anyway. So, yeah. So I kind of gave Emily a backstory. Um, and in her backstory, she was either a baby or relatively young when her birth mother dies. I know. I hold on. Bear with me for a second, okay? I know I kind of jumped straight into the trauma, but hear me out, please. Please hear me out. Emily has always has like I said, there has just always been death and misery surrounding this character, and I am so sorry to any Emilys out there. Um who who might even share her name. This this isn't representing of y'all. Honestly, I don't even know an Emily. I don't. But okay, I'm sorry. I'm laughing through the trauma. Emily's trauma. Essentially, um so she had that happen to her, right? But either way, she ends up living with her dad, and her father has a elder daughter who's like, your typical like sunshine character. I want people to love this chick. I want people to love her. Name is Mona Garnet. And I want people to really love her as I've kind of pictured in my head. She's the girl that gets a fairy tale written about her kind of vibe. And I want Emily to be the polar opposite. I want you to hate her. But like hate her that you can't help but love her as well. And from how I've described Emily in the past, I think I've achieved this and I guess it's mostly how I see her interacting with other characters. Um, she's she wasn't built for she wasn't born for the lead role of a play or um she I never want her to succeed. And I think that it it makes her better for that. At least for me, and how I can kind of word it in my brain. I love her. I really do. Where was I at though? Honestly. Alright. Here's the thing. I've said all this. Whatever. I gave you like the bare bones. I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes, alright? The stuff that you've been waiting for me to really talk about. In her news story, with the Rotten Trio, I think in this version, she was a affair baby. Hold on. Stop looking at me like that. Alright? Don't don't say nothing to me. I don't want to hear it. Alright? I don't. Either way, her father had an affair, and she was the result of that. But he wasn't around. He was like, nah, fuck your kid. And so the mom ended up taking care of Emily for a little while. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna kill her off. Wait. Again, stop looking at me like that. I know you're giving me a look. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I know. But either way, she's gonna die, right? And I'm gonna have Emily go live with her father, his first wife, the wife that he's still with because, she stayed, and their daughter, the elder daughter, which would be Mona. And I still plan for Mona to be the, like, welcome to, like, our home. I'm so happy to meet you. My name is Mona. You must be Emily, right? But I've heard so much about you. Like, I want her to, like, really dig that sunshine into Emily, just so she can feel real jealous of her and stuff. Like that juicy drama. And as Emily grew up completely on her own, not completely on her own, that was bad wording. Emily, in her mind, as she was growing up, was to be like, if I'm gonna get any sort of respect or attention when I'm in this house, um, if I'm gonna have a voice, I have to be better and be better than Mona. And Mona doesn't even know that she's like in this competition with her. Um, I feel like if Emily does something, Mona is, like she would stick up for her and be like, she's just adjusted. Like, make excuses for Emily. Because I feel like Mona really does. Like, it's nothing malicious. Excuse me, Albert. Excuse me. Um, but like, I want Mona to like make excuses for her. I want her to like kind of try to bring the family together. Cause I don't know. I just feel like that's definitely like the situation is very fragile, and Mona may be like, I don't know, like in her teens, like late, like young adult, like 18, 19. Like, I know she sounds so much younger than she is. And I mean, let's be honest, I'm doing this in a fictional world. They're like 19 out of like 700 years they can live, right? Like they're still learning about the world that they're in, especially since this is sort of it's in the same universe as Goddess Corrupt, but just in the mortal worlds that we don't touch on in um Goddess Corrupt, or at least not in the scope of world building, where like our world, the gods are doing kind of their own shitty god things. Um, I need another hit. Oh yeah, that was good stuff. Oh fuck. Oh yeah, that hit the brain. That hit the brain like a wave. Ooh, okay. So yeah, Mona being amazing and honestly being way nicer than she needs to be out of this little shit, which Emily does try to sabotage and fuck with Mona, like whether it's like cutting up clothes. Oh god. Um, whether it has to do with like cutting up clothes, has to do with like sabotaging homework for her school or magic school, which is another thing. They go to magic school. Mona goes in for wizardry, while Emily goes to like a sorcery one because innate magic and stuff. Different rule set. And you know, I is the same building. I don't know if that matters, but it's in my head it's like the same. It's just like a in general magic school. Nothing special about it really. Other meat and potatoes, that's where I'm getting at. But over time, as this is happening, it's just one thing after another until Mona finally like breaks. Like I want her to have a breaking point and have it be like, like I've been trying to connect with you this whole time. Like I don't understand why you just don't like me. I don't understand why you constantly have to go out of your way to hurt me. Da 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 da. And you know, Emily like lashes out at her and is like, like fuck you, like I didn't ask to be here. I never wanted to meet you in the first place. Like I hate you, I hate our father. Like like crashing out. Just absolutely crashing out. My C's are so loud, sorry. Um but she just starts crashing out. And and I like she ends up like killing her. Cold-blooded murder. Was not premeditated in the slightest. I'm gonna keep that in. Right. Emily killing her sister. So Emily ends up killing Mona in a fit of rage. Now, the important part is I want to add a scene or at least a chapter of her in magic school and they're learning about like spell components. And they're going over like what's acceptable, what's questionable, and what's straight up like illegal to use. And I think in this case, there's these flowers, the lunar lilies. They're like a very pale blue flower that can only grow in two factors. One, it has to be on a full moon. And two, they have to grow above a corpse. So if you were to plant a seed on top of a corpse, a pretty recent corpse, I would say, like it still has to have like something to feed off of, whether it be meat, blood, blah 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 blah. And they have to grow on top of a corpse. I think Emily takes her out to the woods somewhere and she starts digging in a spot that has like I don't know. Maybe there was like a bush that was already there, so she was gonna like dig behind it, and it just so happened to be like a lunar lily bush, or like maybe the ground where she was like I don't know, like where the ground where she was gonna bury her sister, like it had been soaked essentially by so much moonlight that if a corpse were to come, like it would bloom on the full moon. I might go with that one. That kind of sounds sick now that I'm like, so, but then I get that would cause a lot of issues. Well, no, not really, because who's burying other than serial killers and shit? Who's burying corpses everywhere? You know what I mean? Um, they became illegal somehow. Yeah, I think this could still work as long as they have rules and restrictions around it. Of course, of course. But sorry, you're hearing my thoughts out loud. But either way, when Emily at some point comes back to check on, the body and everything to make sure everything's still in place, like one night under the full moon, she finds the lunar lilies. and she starts harvesting them. Hold on. Oh, bless me. I don't know if I caught that, but I sneezed. Nice. Nice. Um, but I think something like that. Um, but she starts harvesting them. Thank you, me. Thank you. Thank you. But she starts harvesting them. And there's a couple of different ways you can use them. Like you can grind them up, turn them into a powder, and make a a really bad hallucinogenic on it. You can turn it into tea, which becomes kind of like a poison. Moonshine poison. um, that's almost like acidic in a way. Like when you drink it, it's like acid in your body. Ugh, gross, but cool. Um, but you can also just straight up eat them, and eating them just as a flower, just kind of. I think the way I drew Emily, which you should be seeing, hopefully. If you don't see the lamb, I didn't do it right, but I might have to have Maxine edit this if I can, or at least she can show me how to. Right. If you straight up eat them, it can give you a very big power boost. Um, but it takes from you, so like it could change your appearance to start to reflect, I guess, who you are. And so as you can see her, as you've seen her in some of her official art, when she was younger, she was an elf, and the flower turned her into uh, a demon. Can I say tiefling? I feel like that if we're putting it, I'll say this: if we're putting it in D&D terms, um, she went from an elf to a tiefling, but she essentially became this horned demon, tail and all, because she also ended up getting addicted to just eating the flower. Like her magic heavily relies on it now. And I feel like that's what it also, yeah, it should also take away her magic, placing it with its own, almost like a parasite. Oh wait, I'm kind of cooking. Guys, I'm kind of cooking right now. Oh my god. I'm a genius. Y'all are gonna be like, yeah, he's fucked. Shut up. Leave me alone. I'm just a lamb. Um, anyway. But yeah. And I guess the final part of this is, how did she even get to this group? Well, Ruben was the first one she met. And I don't know. I think it's a weird combination of like they feel familiar to each other and yet they are total strangers. And I feel like Emily just kind of started following him one day. I don't think she fully buys all of his cult bullshit, but she sees something kind of dark about him. Not dark and edgy. No. No, 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 no. We'll get to Ruben in another episode if I do this again. If I do this again. When? Well, who cares? Um, I don't know how they met yet, if I'm being totally honest. I'm still questioning a lot of things. Like, I definitely know I want it's Ruben who meets Emily first, and then they both meet Sylvia. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know how I want Ruben to meet Emily. Um, but I do know I want there to be kind of. You know what? I think. Wait, hold on. I'm about to cook again. Guys, I'm turning on the heat. I'm turning on the heat. You ready for this? Alright, let's make some mac and cheese. She went to a confessional booth, right? Like, they were in the same town, and he's doing like preaches, and one day, before he leaves town, he's like, and for my last day, um, before I go out and spread the word of the Grand One further beyond your means, I'm going to take confessions. So if you would like to cleanse yourself and open your heart to the Grand One, then, come, my children. Right. And Emily, kind of bored, kind of on the run. She's like, why not? I'm already kind of fucked. What else am I gonna do? And so, like, she confesses her murder, and, like, and he was like, I don't know, I don't think he'd be surprised. Honestly, I think he would even try to be like, yeah, I think she kind of deserved it. Like, I don't know. That'd be really funny though if if he was just like, you know what, babes? Yeah, fuck that hoe. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's not even within Ruben's character to do that, but maybe him nonchalantly agreeing would work better, but like, that's so funny. But okay, but I do like the confession booth. I do like that. I don't know about his response. But either way, they end up being friends. Or at least she ends up having like a one sided friendship with him that he will grow to learn to love and appreciate Emily. I think I'm gonna stop it there. Thanks for joining me on this little yap session, I guess. Um, that's the end of the show. I look out for part two if I ever do it. um, will it be about Ruben or Sylvia, or will I completely change it? Who's to say? Whoever I'm obsessed with that week, I guess. Alright. Go subscribe, I guess. I do commissions. My commissions are open. I've been hired by another channel. I'm gonna have to put their name on screen because I don't have the name in front of me. And go visit my wife's page too. I do some of the channel art on there. And if you want to hear me actually be funny and sling jokes, and just be a menace to my wife, I'm also on her channel if you just want to see more of this little lamb. Anyway, go to sleep now, my little